Welcome back, everyone, to our prayer journey with Mike Toth as we step through the book of Ruth, one verse at a time. And today we're going to pick up our story in chapter 3, verse 7, and we're going to go to the 14th verse. We left off last where Ruth, under instructions, got dressed up pretty, smells pretty, and keeps herself hidden from Boaz as she goes to this winnowing or threshing out of the wheat. Because the men, they're working hard and they're sweating and it gets dark and they can't work anymore. So they sit down and they eat and drink and they fall asleep. And her job at this point is to go and to uncover the feet of Boaz. So we're going to pick up the story where they're eating and drinking in verse 7. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn, and she came softly and uncovered his feet and lay down. So she is laying down at the feet of Boaz. This is an act of submission, which a lot of people today would take as a gross thing of men being superior. And you could look at it that way if you like. But Boaz is also a picture of Jesus, which we'll see the more we go into this. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do here? This is not good. And he said, Who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thy handmaiden. Spread therefore thy skirt over thy handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. You see, this spreading of this skirt above him or covering her is a statement of her need for a redemption, of protection. It's nothing much different than when Allstate runs a commercial and says the good hands people, or the travelers, they used to have an umbrella that you put protection over you. That's what that statement is. It is not anything to do with any kind of an affair thing. It is a statement. All right, so in verse 9, we pick up, and he said, verse 10, and he said, Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter end than in the beginning, insomuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. You see Naomi's wisdom? If she would have been amongst the other men, she probably could have found a husband, and the husband could have been rich. But she did not pursue that. She pursued what was best for her family, for Naomi, for her, and in line with God, because Naomi gave her the instructions to do this. So she is seen now even more virtuous because she did not pursue any men. In verse 11, and now, my daughter, fear not, I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people do know that thou art a virtuous woman. And we know from other parts of the Bible that she is more valuable than rubies. All right, so he sees her virtue, that she is willing to take an older man to cover her family and be under God, to be in obedience. Verse 12, and now it is true that I am near kinsman, and I'll explain this. Howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I. You see, Boaz is able to redeem the land that Abimelech left and mortgaged. He has the right to do it because he's a kinsman, and he has the ability to do it because he's got money. But he's got one problem here. There's somebody closer to Abimelech than he is. So that man has first rights in reclaiming the land that Naomi has. So what to do? He's going to explain in verse 13. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning, that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the part of a kinsman. But if he will not do a part of a kinsman to thee, then I will do the part of a kinsman to thee, as the Lord liveth, lie down until morning. So what Boaz is saying here, look, I'm going to put you in a position that if I can't take you, I'm going to follow the law, and I'm going to go to this other kinsman, and I am going to offer that land to that kinsman to take. Now, it's a good deal. This guy's going to get back the property. But Boaz has got a trick up his sleeve. So go to verse 14. And she lay at his feet until the morning, and she rose up before one could know another. And he said, let it but not be known that a woman came onto the floor. So she left. Now, I want to give you a picture here before we go back into the story on the next message. What happens here is this is so similar to the believer or the person coming to Jesus Christ and saying, I need you to cover me. I'm a sinner. I have a debt I cannot pay. You're my kinsman redeemer. You can redeem me. And not only can you redeem me, you have the wherewithal to do it. And Jesus has first line of defense. You are mine. There was one before, and that's the devil. The devil is got you. But God, through Jesus, is buying you back. You see the picture here? He is putting the cloak above you, around you. The wedding garment. So one day the church will be called out and we would all be in heaven as the bride of Christ. That is the message of the gospel, and that is the message that's here. Now we're going to pick up this story, and we'll see Boaz playing a little chess game to make sure he gets Ruth. So until next time, may Jesus increase as we decrease.